Good morning and welcome to the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller serving Hampton Roads, Northeast North Carolina. That's Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina. And really on this digital platform, we serve the whole country. And honestly, we take a look at some different weather stories from around the world. And we've got some volcanic activity we're going to take a look at in Central America coming up. This is the Weather Desk. We're so glad you're here with us. Here are the topics that we're going to be tackling today. We have tornado damage in the Midwest. We're going to show you some video from back in central Missouri where a tornado was confirmed. We'll look at that in a moment. We also have the Lyrid meteor shower. We'll tell you where to look and what you can expect. Now, viewing here in Hampton Roads, not the greatest. Other parts of the country will luck out. But again, here in Hampton Roads, if you are watching locally in Northeast North Carolina or Southeast Virginia, we do have chances for showers and some storms. I mentioned the volcano activity, Kilauea firing up, and we have a volcano in central Costa Rica in the valleys there. There's a crater that's becoming active, and we'll show you where that is and what's going on with that. Also, it's Earth Day. We've talked a lot about this kind of leading up to it. There's some cool things going on around Hampton Roads, but there's one program in particular that has really caught my eye. You've got the city of Detroit, where they had 1.8 million people at one point. A couple decades ago, they've gone through some change there, and there are some areas that have been vacated, quite honestly, where they've kind of raised some of those areas and taken it down to plots of land. They have a plan to plant giant sequoias, and we're going to talk about that, creating these beautiful, just amazing trees, the most large, I guess the largest and most long-living life forms here on Earth. That's the phrase I was going to go for, and we're going to show you more on what they plan to do up in Detroit. Really, really cool. And then I started digging into our temperatures and the outlook. We certainly have some weather I want to talk about here in the Mid-Atlantic as far as chances for showers and storms here later today, but I also want to talk to you about the summer outlook and the national picture for the months of June, July, and August. We'll look ahead and talk about who's going to be most likely to be warmer, areas that may expect temperatures pretty close to average. I can tell you, though, we do have some warm weather coming. So those are the headlines, and we're going to start off by taking you back to that storm system that came rolling through. This was Easter Sunday. You saw that line of storms that came rolling through. Severe weather, and a tornado was identified back in central Missouri. We want to have a closer look at that tornado damage in the Midwest. A slow-moving system brought severe thunderstorms and heavy rain to tornadoes in several states over the Easter weekend. This is a look at the aftermath in central Missouri. Callaway County Sheriff's Office said a suspected tornado touched down there, and take a look at the destruction from above. If you look at the ground, you can see the scar where that tornado spun along. You can see it in the grass, how it kind of digs along, and you can see the discoloration there. Fortunately, only one person was injured there. There could have been a lot more, but fortunately, one person, only one injury reported, and they were able to walk away with just minor injuries, but that was pretty amazing. So I did want to start off by showing you that footage. We'll take a look here again. The tornado again confirmed here. The National Weather Service putting out this report. National Weather Service survey found a high-end EF1 tornado with that path extending from right around Highway 763 and then moving all the way back through Columbia, Missouri. That tornado was on the ground for only about 7 minutes, and the path length was 6.37 miles. So as they go out and survey, they saw stuff like the video we just showed you from Callaway County and that one in Columbia. I can tell you, I had family members, my in-laws, my brother-in-law and his family, and my mother-in-law all hunkered down, riding out that situation there in Columbia, Missouri on Easter Sunday. All right, we've got the telescopes out, and we're going to be looking to the sky tonight. It's going to be important you check out and you look towards Lyrid. Now, I'm going to talk more about this, but let's give you just a little heads up here. The Lyrid meteor shower has been active since Thursday. It's actually expected to peak over the next 24 hours. Evan Stewart has what you need to know if you plan to stay up and watch.
Well, it's the first meteor shower of the year, the Lyrids, and it might be in your social feeds talking about this meteor shower. It does peak tonight, and the best viewing would be after midnight through about 3 a.m., although we do have some clouds that are moving in. Now, the Lyrid's typically not one of our strongest meteor showers. It's considered medium strength. That means only just a few meteors per hour. So it's not going to be one of those showers where you're seeing these meteors very often. As a matter of fact, you might only see one every 10 to 15 minutes. And it's not known for having these long tails with the meteor shower, but it is known for producing fireballs. So if we do see anything during the overnight, it would be more than likely be a fireball as opposed to a meteor with a long tail. Now, this is one of the oldest meteor showers with observation records going all the way back to 687 BCE. So if you do want to get out and try to grab a look at the Lyrids tonight, look to the darkest part of the sky. Meteors can pretty much show up anywhere. And give your eyes time to adjust, at least 10 to 15 minutes outdoors, and leave the phone indoors, because if you look at your phone, you just lose that night vision, and your eyes and your vision have to reset.
All right, some great information there from Evan. Again, you want to look off towards Lyra, the constellation, and again, you'll see those meteors coming from that general direction, radiating out. Look to the northeast to southeast late tonight. And again, Evan said we're not really expecting as many as we've seen in the past. It's not a super active meteor shower, but you may catch something. Now, I got to tell you, the forecast for this evening is not the most promising here in Hampton Roads. Let's take this full, and what I'm going to do for you kind of on the fly here is I'm going to expand this view, because while we do have chances for showers and thunderstorms around here, as I back out this view, and I can show you what's happening again as we kind of expand the view. Let me see if I can do this real quick. You're going to see across the area the clouds out there, and I'm going to do this on the fly because we can. That's why we do this. As we take a look at the camera, let me back this out, and we're going to take you forward to other parts of the country where you may get a better look. Again, we're looking for showers and storms here in Hampton Roads. You can see as we head into the evening, we've got that chance right there with our futurecast. But again, other parts of the country, maybe the northeast U.S., back over across parts of the central U.S., or if you're watching from the southwest, you've got more clearing out that way heading through the overnight. So there are some parts of the country where you may be able to check out the Lyrids. Hopefully, if you get away from the clouds, you'll be able to enjoy some of those. I will say again, for Hampton Roads, as we zoom back into our area here, we're not going to get a very good look, as we do have good chances for those scattered showers and certainly some more cloud cover coming through. All right, so that was just a little tiny detour with the Lyrids, but I did want to show you that. Let's go ahead and talk some more about the volcanoes and what's going on around the central part of the Americas. We'll head down, first of all, to Costa Rica. You can see right here in the Central Valleys, we have this volcano. And again, this thing is erupting. So the moment it happened, it was caught on camera. Check this out. Absolutely spectacular to see this eruption. Happened around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The volcano is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Costa Rica. It's just about an hour or so north of San Jose, and the eruption sent a column of ash nearly 2 miles into the air. Isn't that spectacular? To check that out, let me show you again where it is on the map here. We'll zoom in, and again, you see San Jose and its distance here off to the north of San Jose. So really something to check out, and again, spectacular viewing from that. Now, we're going to head over to the Hawaiian Islands because we've got Kilauea, and yesterday we were showing a little bit of the activity around the volcano there on the Big Island. Well, it's acting up again. We're continuing to keep a close eye on that, so let's take you there now. Mount Kilauea, it's been erupting off and on for a few months now, and look at that. That's a live feed, and you can see that lava just shooting up into the sky. Absolutely spectacular. It's like fireworks, just natural fireworks with the lava going off. This is something, again, it's dark there with this live feed, and that's not from smoke from the volcano. It's still dark in Hawaii. They're that far behind us. So again, you're looking at the volcanoes that's erupting here around 3 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. But you can see there are fountains of lava spewing out. The U.S. Geological Survey says lava flows and gas resumed over the weekend. And again, this is the 18th episode recorded at Mount Kilauea since late December. Isn't that just amazing? I tell you, I could sit there and just watch it and watch it and watch it go. I guess that's why they made lava lamps back in the 70s, right? People just want to sit there and watch it kind of bubble up and do its thing. Very cool stuff there. Now, I always like to take a look at the wind field around Kilauea, because sometimes if there's a lot of ash, it can create situations where they get VOG. That's volcanic smog that pushes towards some of the more densely populated parts of Hawaii. Again, the volcano's safely away, and they have this area marked off so that they can study it, and they keep people at a safe distance actually from the volcano. But sometimes some of that volcanic kind of debris and some of the VOG that develops, the volcanic smog, can head back over. So we'll be watching that. But that's the latest on Kilauea. And again, very active since late December. So that's what's up with that. All right, we're going to take a look right now at the summertime trends and what's coming up over the summer, and warmer days, that's for sure. We'll take a look here. You can see this temperature trend as we go over the coming week for Hampton Roads. This is just the mid-Atlantic here. Warm today, little cooler tomorrow, back below average, and then we're near average on Thursday with a warming trend through Saturday. Another cold front comes, knocks us back, but you don't see any really cold weather here. Temperatures are going to be mild. When we get those cold blasts coming in, we step back a little bit, and then we surge back up. Look at this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Temperatures are going to be climbing into the 80s. Low to mid 80s there on Tuesday, upper 80s on Wednesday, and mid to upper 80s on Thursday of next week. Our average high is 72, so temperatures really warming over the next 10 days. How about what happens after that? You see the 8 to 14-day precip outlook. There will be chances for more wet weather than dry across the central U.S. We should see near normal precipitation here in the mid-Atlantic, most of the western U.S., also pretty close to average, and then drier than normal conditions expected out on the west coast. As far as temperatures go, you can see we're expecting above normal temperatures out 8 to 14 days. So this takes you out through the 6th of May. You start to see what's happening here. Warmer days are coming. And then we're going to take a look here at the outlook. This is for summertime, and I put this together this morning to give you that outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. You can see for June, July, and August, it's likely going to be above normal, well above normal, potentially for the Northeast U.S. The major metropolitan areas, D.C. over to Baltimore, Philadelphia, up through New York City, Boston, these large metropolitan areas all expecting well above normal conditions for the summer. Looks like it's going to be a warm summer here in the mid-Atlantic as well. For Norfolk down through the Carolinas and the southeast U.S., hot Atlanta living up to its name. South Florida really warm as well, and temperatures very warm out across the western U.S. Really just about the entire country expected to be at or maybe a little bit above average as we go through the summer. So a hot summer, you'll hear a lot about it. People talk about it all the time. It does look like, I think, the early part of the summer may be close to average across the north central U.S., but eventually the warmer conditions will prevail by June, July, and August. I also think late in the year or late in the summer, as we get into August, September, we may see some cooling taking place. I expect temperatures to be well above for the early part of summer. We may get a little bit of a break in the southeast U.S. as we finish up summer. So just wanted to share that with you, okay? As we take a look at the high temperatures over the past week, again, we've seen some warm weather. We're in the midst of a warm stretch right now. I will have more on the forecast for Hampton Roads and what we can expect as we look forward. We'll also talk rain and storm chances coming up. Right now, though, I want to remind folks it's Earth Day, and the climate holiday helps raise awareness for environmental issues while encouraging us to take care of our planet. This is the only planet we have right now. The theme this year is Our Power, Our Planet, with a focus on renewable energy like wind or solar power. Here's how people across the country are celebrating. Check this out. Arborists in Michigan are planting an urban forest in Detroit. But this vacant lot on the east side won't feature elms, oaks, or red maples that are indigenous to the city. It's going to be filled with giant sequoias. Now, these giant sequoias, these are the largest trees in the world, and they can live for more than 3,000 years. Donated saplings have been planted by volunteers from Arboretum Detroit. Now, the goal is to fill the vacant areas while improving air quality, and it really is pretty amazing. I was taking a look at where they got these seedlings, and basically there were two massive giant sequoias, famous sequoias back in California, and they had, tree specialists that would climb to the top and take little splices off the top of those massive sequoias back in California, create the seedlings, raise them, and now they're going to plant those as new giant sequoias that are coming from that area. So it is truly, truly amazing.
There's only about 10 to 15% of the houses left, so that leaves a lot of vacant lots. And we thought, why don't we fill them up with trees? Because right now they're just invasive grasses and weeds that need to be mowed. If I'm going to dig a hole and plant a tree, and I can plant a tree that's going to live 50 years, or I can plant a tree that's going to live 1,000 years, my time is better spent planting a tree that's going to live 1,000 years. We're trying to breathe clean air. We're trying to create shade. We're trying to soak up the storm water. And I think sequoias are, among all the trees we plant, maybe the strongest, best candidates for that.
Super cool story there. I love that idea of planting those giant sequoias right there. Treetroit. Gotta love that. And how about that guy that was interviewed? His name was Birch. All right, that's pretty cool. His sister's very sad lady, Weeping Willow. All right, that's a lame joke. I'm sorry, I'm a dad. I can't help myself. All right, this initiative is part of a new project called Giant Sequoia Filter Forest, and Detroit's the first city to participate. There are plans to plant more sequoias in Los Angeles, Oakland, and in London. How about that? Back here at home, Hampton Roads Transit is celebrating Earth Day by offering free rides on buses, light rail, and ferry all day. The goal is to save you time and money and gas, all while helping the planet. HRT is also hosting cleanups at bus stops across Hampton Roads. Now remember, again, it's a day to think about what you can do. Even little steps you can take will make a big difference in helping preserve the Earth. So think about it, Earth Day. All right, let's get into the forecast and talk some more about what's going on. Yesterday, all the way up to 86. We mentioned that. Normally, we're at 72, 5 degrees off the record yesterday, no rain, and we are now sitting 1.13 inches below average. So that's where we are after yesterday. Today, we've got rain chances off and on, going back and forth. And not only today, but as we go over the coming week, there'll be some dry periods, but we'll see chances for showers. And we're going to see temperatures kind of up and down a little bit as well. As we were talking going forward, you'll see that. A dip in temperatures tomorrow, and then a climb towards the weekend, and then another fall off by Sunday. A few storm chances are going to be in the mix over the coming week as well. This is our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view. You can see it's kind of hazy out there. Let's take this full, and I want to show you again the hazy sunshine. We do have some fair weather clouds out there. We're going to continue to watch that. I think those clouds are going to thicken up as we go through the afternoon, and eventually we're going to see chances for the wet weather. So we're going to be watching for that very, very carefully this afternoon. Pressure is rising. Temperatures inland right now already at 70 degrees. Wakefield, Franklin, they started off a little cooler, but we do have low 70s. Hampton, Virginia Beach, Currituck, Elizabeth City, 69 right now in Chesapeake. It's 68 in Williamsburg. A really nice day. Again, a little hazy, but we do have those rain chances going up later this afternoon. We'll pick up our futurecast, and you notice by 3 o'clock we've got a little cell popping up around the north end of Virginia Beach. Got a little something developing up around Newport News. This is the HRRR model, and you can see how it brings in a couple of heavier storms as we go late afternoon and into the evening. Now the chances, it's a level 1 threat that we have. Just a marginal risk, but we do have that potential for a few isolated, stronger, severe storms. Primary threat, gusty winds, and we'll continue to watch that potential as we head into the evening. This is around 8 o'clock. Notice those storms working through the area, pushing offshore around 9. Another batch may be coming in around 10:30 or 11. Eventually, that'll work through, and tomorrow morning we could see a little more wet weather, especially down in North Carolina. So be sure and join me tomorrow morning for 13 News Now Daybreak. You can always find us anywhere in the country or around the world on our 13 News Now Plus. And again, we'll be having that for you on Daybreak. If you are watching here locally between 4:30 and 7, we'll have you covered. As we go through the middle of the day, most of that wet weather should be out. There could be a few more stray showers down to the south, maybe a pocket of rain or two. But for the most part, we'll be drying out, and the northern areas actually clearing out as we go into Thursday. Thursday should be really nice. Take a look at the European model, another depiction of what's going on. Showers and maybe a few storms this afternoon and into the evening. You see it here. Now, the global model doesn't have that super high resolution that I just showed you with the HRRR model. But again, you do get the feel for the moisture in even early Wednesday, and then things will improve later Wednesday. Drier air comes in, especially across the north. Thursday looks good. I want to talk to you about the upcoming weekend. As we go into the afternoon, there might be a few stray showers, mainly over eastern North Carolina. As we get into Friday, we start off dry, but there'll be chances for showers later in the afternoon. You see around 2, 3 o'clock, some of that wet weather starting to pop up down to the south. By Saturday in the morning, wet weather out across central and western parts of the Commonwealth. We're still dry here in Hampton Roads early on Saturday. As we go past midday, showers start to push a little closer to Hampton Roads. Should be kind of light, isolated to scattered. And then as we get into the evening, that's when we have our front getting closer to us. And as that front drops in, that'll be a focus. Better chances for showers and storms Saturday evening. And then once the front clears the area, we're going to see some clearing and cooler conditions Sunday into Monday of next week. Here's a look at the boating forecast. Out on the water, we've got the winds. They were a little breezy this morning. We'll see the winds kind of relaxing, more in that 5 to 15 knot range, waves just 1 to 2 feet. So pretty flat on the Chesapeake Bay. For the ocean waters, you see the water temperatures in the upper 50s. We've seen some gusts up around 20 knots. The seas running 2 to 3 feet. Now, as we take a look at the forecast, we want to let you know again, allergies, tree pollen, it's extreme again. Yesterday it was down a little bit, it was high. It's back up to extreme. Oak, sweet gum, and sycamore. Grass is starting to show up a little bit as well. Still low, but we are starting to see some grass pollen reported. So that's something to keep an eye to. As we take a look at the forecast for today, this afternoon, temperatures lower to mid 80s. You can see those warmer readings, especially inland, chances for storms late this afternoon and into the evening. Looking up on the peninsula, cloudy around Williamsburg, 83, a chance for storms. Newport News or Hampton should be fairly isolated. Might see something over at Cape Charles as well. As you go farther north, just a chance for a few stray showers up around Sunnybank, maybe over to Melfa. Down across northeast North Carolina, we're looking pretty good for the afternoon, but keep in mind as we get into the late afternoon and evening, that's when this area is more likely to see storms. I think we will see some rumbling through later this evening. After that, tonight, the wet weather comes through, mostly cloudy skies. We'll see improvements towards sunrise. Still a chance for a few early showers, should be very isolated. After that, things will start to clear out, and I expect much nicer conditions on Thursday, looking good, 74 and partly sunny. As we look ahead to Friday, isolated showers, and I think there might be a stray storm or two, mainly down to the south. I don't think it's going to be too bad on Friday, and honestly, early Saturday looks pretty good, but there will be that chance for scattered showers and storms late Saturday. Most of it will be gone by early morning on Sunday, but there might be a lingering sprinkle there as well. Temperatures certainly cooler from Saturday to Sunday. We go from 80 back to 70, 73 on Monday. And then if you remember that extended outlook, temperatures get a lot hotter, back up in the mid and even upper 80s later next week. So that's a look at the 7-day forecast for Hampton Roads. Remember, you can always find me on social media. You can find me at Facebook. You can find me on X and also on Instagram. My Instagram account, Craig Moeller TV. You can find me on X at 13 Craig Moeller and on Facebook at Craig Moeller as well. So that's where you can find me. If you've got some feedback for us here on the Weather Desk, love to hear from you. And if there are any topics you'd like for us to tackle, you can reach out to me through social media. I'll be happy to do it. Remember, the best way to stay in touch is by downloading our 13 News Now mobile app. Scan the QR code and you'll have access to our radars, to all of our news and weather coverage. If there are any severe weather warnings, you'll get push alerts. It is a great resource to stay connected to the weather here in Hampton Roads. All right, hopefully you've enjoyed this edition of the Weather Desk on this Earth Day. We'll have more topics as we look each and every day, scanning the country and looking around the world for weather stories of interest. As we get going again, some warmer days to come. Today, certainly a warm one in Southeast Virginia. Keep an eye to the radar and stay weather aware later this afternoon and this evening if you live in or around the 757. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me here on the Weather Desk.